What happened in this accident?
I was driving, and so it was both of our fault. It was my fault, and it was also the driver's fault. He was in the two-door going over 60, which he shouldn't have been at all. And I actually ran a stop sign. But this is why I say it wasn't necessarily my fault. It's because when the cops came, the whole neighborhood complained because there was this huge tree, this big drape tree that grew over the stop sign. And they've been calling the city to come cut down the tree for, they said, almost a year. So they said people run that all the time, not knowing, you know what I mean, a stop sign should be there. So that's what it was for me. I'm just driving, didn't see the damn stop sign. I got hit. So let's say this is my Jeep. I got hit, I spun out. And while I spun out, there was a parked car in my Jeep. The right side of my Jeep spun, hit the car, and I flipped over the parked car.
God damn.
And like, luckily I didn't break that. I was just, bro, I was bruised up so bad. Here, all it is, like, I was fucked up. And like, bro, it fucked me bad. I didn't even get in the car for like a month. I never forget, our best friend Sasha, he picked me up. I was staying at my grandma's at the time. He picked me up, and we didn't even make it to the corner. I could not sit in the front seat. I had to get out and sit in the back seat, lay down in the back seat. And I was like that for a little while. But yeah, so after that accident, I literally went home, sore as hell, cried, because I was having all these damn realizations, just being true. I remember I texted my managers and stuff at the time, like, we gotta get on the call. This is important, they didn't know what was going on. I got on the call, I was just telling them like I was in a bad accident, and they thought that was it. Oh my God, are you okay? What do you need? I was like, nah, I don't need anything. Honestly, I just need to be out of this group. Like, honestly, I can't do this no more. And they were like, no, it's an accident. That's, you know what I mean? They were saying like I was dismantled, whatever they wanted to say. But I knew, because I was already done with it for so long. You know what I mean? And, yeah.
But, okay, now we're doing more. Okay, hold on. Let me figure.
You wanted to know the details.
No, we're getting to business now, alright? So, how did you guys just up and leave the group? Like, come on, y'all signed papers and contracts. Like, was there any agreements? Like, come on, like, you know, like,
no,
you can't just up and leave a contract. Like, how's that happening? Like,
the contract honestly was over once, probably.
You swear? Oh, so the label that y'all was signed with, that was Interscope, right?
We were with Interscope.
Okay.
And then how we got out of that deal is when Pride left, some grimy shit happened, and so we were able to get out of that deal with no difficulties.
You mind saying what happened in that grimy shit? I mean, it's up to you. Like you said, you know, you family, bro.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, I think they were trying to sign Pride behind our back or some shit like that. So that was a breach of contract, so we were able to leave. Right. Then we went over to Sony, and then there was a point where I was the only one not signed to Sony because I didn't like the people we signed to. They just messed up a lot of business for me. Like there was a show called The Get Down. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it was based out of New York.
Yeah, I know.
So I went to do the audition, my first time ever doing an acting audition, and I landed the lead role for that show. The person who was signed with under Sony just shut him down. No. Every email they sent, his response was no. And then he had the nerve to call me saying they didn't want to negotiate.
But he was really...
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, man, fuck you.
Trying to control your life and all that.
Then the same thing happened. A week later, I went out for another role for Static Shock. Remember that cartoon? That shit was fire. So I went out for the role of Static Shock, got it. He did the same thing, and that's when I realized, like, okay, I gotta go. Because he was messing up so much money. Like, just for the Netflix role, I think it was 13 episodes. They was willing to do like $35K an episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because y'all was so big at the time.
He was just messing up big money. Yeah. So then remember Jaden was in the show.
Yeah.
So then they booked the lead role. This is before I got my contract. They ended up booking the lead role. They didn't have Jaden for that role yet. Well, I think they did have him in mind, but then they really wanted me. They was like, yo, we got this role for you. He's kind of androgynous, you know, whatever. We'll pay you more. So they went up a whole extra 10K. He still said no, and I was just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So then we were all under Sony, and then eventually we were gone for so long. I think that deal just kind of went under the table, and then by the time the 2 new members came, we were kind of like independent. You know what I mean? Plus, we pretty much had like the money to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it all kind of stemmed from like once Prodigy left. And then once that happened, it was almost like the contract. Plus, I think literally the contract was over during that year anyway, which is why he was free to just walk away.
So basically, they made y'all do the All Around the World album, and that was basically the end of everything. Yeah, that was the end of everything. All Around the World album was the last album.
Yeah.
And that was probably the last album.
I don't think if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't because of the album. I just think our contract was like a few-year contract. So by the time the album was done, it was our year to re-sign. You get what I'm saying? And then probably was like, I'm gone.
Yeah, so like, let's talk about the financial part now. Like, how was it like y'all splitting the money now between the management? Well, let's forget the management. How was you, Prod, Prince, and Rox splitting?
It was divided. It was equal.
It was equal?
It was equal. The thing is, we had Keisha.
Yeah.
He was pretty much running the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to think of a brain, she was the like creative director.
Yeah.
We also had 2 managers though.
Mm-hmm. Who was what? Like he.
It was like Keisha was a manager, and then we had Kenneth. Career. He was super low key.
So who was the other man? The one that used to always be with y'all and y'all walked up on BET Awards?
Oh, I think Walter.
Yeah, who was he?
He was producer.
Producer, okay.
We were signed to his production company.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a lot of people trying to play a role.
Yeah, cause it was like so much people.
We had Vincent Herbert.
It was too much going on.
He was signed to Vincent.
Yeah, and that was Interscope Records. Yeah.
Which was cool because he had Gaga at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Interscope had Far East Movement.
Yeah.
LMFAO, Dr. Dre, like they had some.
Mindless Behavior, everyone was big on Interscope.
Everybody, Marilyn Manson, bro, everybody.
It was like at the time that you was on Interscope, you're the shit. Like,
yeah.
Interscope was like, that era, like, Interscope was like the big thing right there. You know what I mean? They had all the big artists and all that. That's so crazy, man.
I never signed to a label again.
Yeah, you know it's crazy because I always said like if like at that time like y'all really didn't need a label, bro. People were just not y'all, but people were just money hungry. My opinion, money hungry, and they were trying to reach for so much money. They knew how much they can get off y'all, but not thinking if we be independent, these boys take off.
Let me just say this to the camera: you're an artist, and you're a true creative, and you know what you're doing, and you want to create music, but you want to make good money. Remain independent. Do your research and figure out how to put your music on all platforms and educate yourself because you make so much more. You will get to a point where you can invest in yourself. Wasn't I just telling you that?
Yes.
Bro, right now, let's just say this year alone, 2020 has been trash.
Yes. Well, especially with COVID.
I didn't start really dropping music until January 6th was my birthday. I dropped my first single video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen very good.
Right now, after that, I dropped Ice Will Be Paris.
Yeah.
Then I dropped Jack Brothers with Brody.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 6 months. I've made so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
Just running the show by myself.
Yeah.
I have a manager. I have PR.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. You don't need no fucking label. You don't need all these different avenues and platforms.
Yeah.
You just don't need it at all.
Because once you're known, that's all that matters. Like, you can run the show yourself.
Bro. And after all that, I'll be damned if I give anybody money to just sit on their ass.
Yeah, and you doing all the work. Like,
You're not about to own my masters. You're not about to own the rights to my music when I'm creating it.
Because, hold on, Mindless Behavior, y'all ain't own the masters. Y'all have no masters on.
Our team did. And that's another thing.
Yo, y'all was like really.
A lot of people wasn't getting credit for what they were doing either. Like, people don't know this, but like, and if you do have the first album out there, look inside it. Those pictures, I literally drew by hand. while traveling. I didn't get paid for that. I didn't get no credit for that. You get what I'm saying? Little stuff. Cry for like Dave Scott. Kill Cordio.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also a real ass dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also in there.
Showing, putting your work in, you get the credit for it.
Even pride sometimes. You get what I'm saying?
Get no credit.
No credit. And that's no disrespect to Dave at all.
Or just, you know.
Love Dave Scott. He's fucking one of the best choreographers dancers I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just team wise.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's crazy.